When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them, they need you.
Everyone, and welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Steph the Alter Nerd, filling in for Andy whilst he's away on holiday at the moment. And I have my partner in crime, my PRC. It's Kim is here. Hello, honey. How are you doing today?
I am good. I'm happy to be here. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad today. Been a very, very busy day. Guys, if you haven't done so already, do check out the video we released earlier on. Disgraced actor Ezra Miller broke their silence. They attended the Flash premiere last night, and oh my goodness, did they have some things to say. But will it save the movie? Because early estimates are kind of saying that the movie's kind of gonna bomb. Oh yes. So if you want to see on here all those juicy details, you guys, then make sure you check our video from earlier on today. With that being said, let's jump into the main topic here. Whew, so we've got our Britney expert resident here. It's Kim to pretty much break it all down for us. But the gist of the story from yesterday, because we initially did the video yesterday as it was breaking, K-Fed has made some very, very disgusting claims, and allegedly, okay, against Britney, saying that she is on, we'll call it Meth, for the YouTube human reviewer out there. Now, the journalist spoke to the Daily Mail and was like, yeah, this is what K-Fed has said, that she's on Met, this, that, and the other. Britney Spears then responded with her Instagram post, which we detail in yesterday's video. And then K-Fed, like completely, like, not his MO, does a Instagram post himself, an Instagram stories, completely turning around and saying, no, I didn't say that, completely retracts, completely backtracks. Which ain't like him. I don't think he's really done that before. So, K-Fed knows he effed up big time, right? To the point where Mathew Rosengart had turned around and said, this is false, and also, yep, defamatory. Now, in yesterday's video that I did with Andy, Andy had spoken to Christopher Melcher, and Chris turned around and said, well, the question now is, who actually said it, and is there proof that it was said? Now, the article yesterday, the journalist seems to have been quoting K-Fed, and now, in today's update, and a shocking twist, yeah, the journalist is doubling down and saying that they've got K-Fed on tape. On tape saying this, you guys. This is insane. RadarOnline.com is exclusively learned that, yeah, they've got it on tape. They're sitting on multiple hours of unseen video where K-Fed supposedly made the sensational claim that he fears that Britney is on, we'll call it, Meth. Federline alleged to have told the documentary maker Daphne Barak, I fear she's on Meth. I've been praying someone would make it public and that she wakes up. It's terrifying. She is the mother of my boys. He makes the dramatic U-turn and denies making the comments, but sources close to the production confirm there are hours of video, including many exchanges in different scenes between Kevin and Daphne, from a 2022 film shoot at Federline and his son's Los Angeles home. And in a statement, Daphne Barak has assured us that the quotes attributed to Kevin and the family are accurate and fairly reflect the interviews conducted in which Kevin told Daphne, her producer Erbal Ganasti, and members of the film crew that Britney might be using Meth. He did so clearly, and get this one to one off, guys, he did
this is my favorite part.
Repeatedly. And that they said Kevin also made it clear to Daphne that he hoped someone would expose the situation as he saw it, because that would be the way to get help for Britney. So this is the thing, guys. K-Fed's turning around and saying, I didn't say it. But the journalist and producer be like, what you chatting shiz for? We've got you on freaking tape!
It's not even like they did an interview and she just jotted down like the quote. No, it's in 4K. Repetitively.
It's there!
Broad daylight.
It's there! It's done! Allegedly, of course.
Allegedly. Speculation.
Conspiracy theory, whatever. Like,
Fake fan fiction.
how much of a dummy do you have to be? To be like, no, I didn't do it, but then they're turning around and saying, dude, what are you lying for? We've got you on tape saying it. Not once, but they're saying repeatedly. Like, they're saying that K-Fed made the point to repeatedly make this wild, insane, nasty allegation against Britney. Now, this is the thing. Why? If this is true, all right, because this is still all alleged until we see the receipts, until we see that tape, you know, this is still all alleged, guys. But this is the thing, right? The state of play between Britney and K-Fed, apart from this whole nastiness, yeah, is he is moving their two boys to Hawaii. There's a little bit of undercurrent with that because in Hawaii, she now has to pay child support for both of them until they're both 23 years old. So he's getting that. Why would he then, in addition to all of that, be making these claims? To what end? Now, our resident Britney expert, it's Kim. In you come with your expert analysis on this. I mean, what is your whole kind of takeaway from all of this and your inside track of it all?
So I have a couple of opinions on this, and I do want to just stress that this is speculation. This is opinion. I don't know 100%. I'm not there. But what I can say is that it has been rumored that this interview thing that he did with Daphne, that Kevin did with Daphne, had a 7-figure payout. And Daphne, according to her, spent 12 days with Kevin and his family in their home. And the purpose of that was because she was filming a documentary. So if money was exchanged and the documentary was filmed, she has every right to publish whatever the heck she wants. I think that would be pretty fair to say. And we know that Kevin's motivation through a lot of things from the outside looking in my opinion, has been money. It's really interesting now that he's saying things to the effect of that, you know, the boys want to go to Hawaii because they don't want to be in the public eye in the media. Yet you literally invited the tabloid over to your house for almost 2 weeks. Make it make sense. The only way that it makes sense is money. This has always been about money. And what I thought was very interesting about the Daily Mail article, the one that launched this whole mess of the allegation of Demet, of the Breaking Bad, is about midway through the article, all of a sudden the tone changes. And it's actually quite scathing against Kevin. It accuses him of regularly using certain things. It accuses him of not keeping his home clean and kept. It accuses him of really not seeming to be doing anything other than taking the boys to school. It also calls out that Britney's paying for their rent, that Britney's paying for the boys' schooling, that the kids are getting $40,000 a month child support being paid to Kevin, which of course Daphne has to mention, that is more than what the US president gets paid per month tax-free. And then she also threw in a little thing at the end about how the family is now wondering, where is the money for the kids in a trust fund? And who was that up to make sure that that happened? Because realistically, that would have been between Daddy Dearest Jamie Spears and Kevin Federline, the parent that had the custody of the children. And if that hasn't happened, we now have questions about where is this trust fund for the boys? Because that should be pretty high up there by now in investments, and these kids should have a good amount of money waiting on them when they turn 18. And now the family's saying, well, where is that? I'm honestly wondering if the more Daphne talked to Kevin, the more questions she had. And as she started asking questions, maybe Kevin got uncomfortable. That's my speculation. Then Kevin starts saying, hey, leave me alone. Leave me and my kids alone. We don't want to talk to you anymore. Except Kevin signed a contract. He signed a contract for a documentary. And I think he thought he was doing something with some of the things that he said about Britney. And then everything blew up in his face, everything from leaking those videos and the things that he said in the first interview. And it's all just going downhill. But the bottom line is, if Daphne owns that footage, they can do what they want with it. And it's coming out, whether he likes it or not, whether he says it's not real or not. What he said during those 12 days is coming out. And if he is lying, then he now has a lawsuit against Britney that is going to be headed up by a former federal prosecutor that's had enough of his garbage. He has no idea how deep he's in right now. And that's part of why I'm smiling a bit, because as much as it infuriates me that this rumor has come out, that it is front page news, I don't think it's okay. And it does upset me because I personally do not believe that Britney is on the Met. I think there would be other signs that would make it obvious, and we're not seeing those. If this is what it takes for Kevin to shut up and leave her alone, Rosengard, do your worst. Let's go. That's where I'm at. Does that make sense, Steph? I can't hear you, Steph.
Did an Elaine there? Yes, that makes total sense. And, speaking of, the tapes, well, the source close to the production told Radar Online, Daphne, the producer, the journalist, is not backing down. There's a reason for that. Tapes do not lie. Hips do not lie, according to Shakira, and according to Daphne, tapes don't lie either. They added, she would never have been able to publish such an accusation if she could not have proven to the outlet, in this case the Mail on Sunday and the Sun, that Kevin said those comments. Like, if you're going to say something outrageous like this, to say that the person I interviewed said this, you better have the damn receipts, otherwise you're screwed, right? So I could only safely and reasonably assume that with Daphne saying this, that yes, K-Fed said that Britney is on the Met, that she has the tape where he's saying this. Not just once, though. By all accounts, according to her, repeatedly, guys. Repeatedly. And the question that I have is, there has always been, ever since she was freed, this push to prove that, Britney's unstable, Britney's this, you can't have Britney around knives, now she's on Meth apparently, and oh my goodness, the nakedness on her Instagram, even though every other pop star, is doing that and more. Keep the same energy for people like Miley Cyrus, J-Lo, Beyonce, right? No. We don't keep the same energy for them. Britney's another thing altogether. No. She gets naked. No, she's crazy. She needs to go back into conservatorship, right? That whole TMZ hit piece a couple of weeks back, right? That program that they did about Britney against her. Do you think this is all a concerted effort from Team Con to prove to the world that Britney is crazy and needs to go back into the conservatorship? Like, do you think they're trying to make moves to get her back in?
It would not surprise me in the least. I think when we have these conversations, one of the things we can't ignore is the conversation of ableism. This idea that even if Britney is struggling with a specific mental illness or a certain condition, that all of a sudden that suddenly equates that Britney should enter back into a conservatorship. And a lot of people don't seem to understand what a conservatorship truly is. It is stripping a person of their human rights. And normally it is used in cases for people that cannot care for themselves, in the sense of that they are elderly and they can't do things like feed themselves or go to the bathroom on their own or things like that. The idea that Britney was in a conservatorship yet did 2 Las Vegas residencies, 3 tours, multiple albums, a reality show, all of these things. People that are in conservatorships don't work because they can't eat on their own. They can't do things on their own in the state of California. So the idea of her going back into the conservatorship makes absolutely no sense. And people that are screaming that right now, I say back to them, you may need to take a look at yourself and consider that you are being ableist. This idea of viewing someone as less than somebody else because they struggle with a mental illness of some kind. When the reality is, a lot of people struggle with mental illness. Technically, depression is a mental illness. And last I checked, actually, in the UK stuff, I think it was 1 in 4 people in the UK are on antidepressants at this time. So if your point is that anybody that's mentally ill should be in a conservatorship, we're going to lose a lot of people. And all of a sudden, people's rights are getting thrown up in the air, and it gets pretty scary. Britney has the right to live her life. She has the right to make her own decisions. She has the right to make her own mistakes. And sometimes people really need to back up off of that. But because of the way that people look at things like this, it would not surprise me if Team Con has this in their back pocket and they're thinking maybe this is a way that they could get Britney back into this arrangement. It's very, very unlikely from all the legal analysis that I've seen, because she was relieved of the conservatorship because it was deemed that she was mentally fit enough to not be in one. So I can't see her being put back in. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Team Con's going to try. And if anything, I could see them, my speculation, doing it for revenge. All of this I could see. That's my opinion.
Why would they do it for revenge? Revenge for what?
They've lost their meal ticket. All of them. All these people that were on her payroll, all these people that they were paying, there's millions and millions and millions of dollars missing, allegedly. Where did that go? And the gravy train is ending for people that are even still benefiting from it. We're talking, this was like a corporation almost of people. We're talking about judges, lawyers, the families, the people that worked underneath her. It's tons of people.
And so, even though, yes, they've relieved her, it's still a possibility that they could be successful and put her back into conservatorship if they can prove that she needs to go back into one. So, you know, all these stories about the knife situation, the Met, her erratic behaviour, this, that and the other, you know, everything that they're putting out in the media right now, could that all be used against her to try and force her back into a conservatorship?
I would say only if they can prove it, and only if medical diagnosis backs up what they're claiming. Because one of the reasons originally, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, that she was put into the conservatorship was because they mentioned that she was having dementia-like symptoms. She doesn't have dementia, guys. So these things start to fall apart. They really, really do.
Yeah.
And this idea of putting somebody in a conservatorship because their behavior is odd to you or whatever is not justified. People are allowed to live their lives the way they want, even if you disagree with it. She's not doing anything illegal. She's not hurting anybody. Let her dance in her house. Who cares? Like, there's better things in the world to be, like, there's more important things in the world to be concerned about. That's just my opinion. I never understood that.
Oh, that's absolutely fair enough. But yeah, guys, a follow-up from yesterday's video. Shocking freaking twist. Journalist is doubling down and saying, K-Fed, you're screwed because I'm saying that you made these claims about Britney being on Meth on tape repeatedly. Tons of times. Oh my goodness. I bet you anything Mathew Rosengart wants to get his mitts on those tapes and watch them very, very closely indeed. With that being said, everyone that's watching on the live, stay exactly where you are. We're going to be cutting this for YouTube, but for everyone watching on the replay, if you haven't done so already, if you like this video and you want more, believe me, of course there's going to be more, then do make sure you subscribe to us at Popcorn Planet, turn that notification bell to all, like this video if you like Britney to continue to being free, and leave a comment down below. And whilst you're at it, join today for as little as $5.99 a month and become a Popcorn Planeteer and get exclusive content from the man himself, Andy Signore. With that being said, again, everyone in the live, stay exactly where you are, but everyone on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Appreciate all your faces. Here are some videos that you'll probably want to clickety-click on, clickety-click.